All right, here we are, episode 117. That's 117 if you're not paying attention. We're about to get started with some Pathfinder 2e Abomination Vaults as we close in on the finale. It's coming. It's around the corner. Perhaps the next door or two. We shall see. But tonight we got 3 of the companions. Their backup characters and what they've been doing will be told in the next episode. Sheppy, Cypher, we'll get to them in the next episode to see what they've been up to and how they might help what's happening as we continue this foray into the inner sanctum of Belcora. We're missing Rachel tonight, unfortunately. She's not feeling well at all. She just got back from a concert down in Texas, so she's a little bit out of it. But hopefully she'll be with us next week. But we do have Ted, and we have Kyle, and of course Jesse once again. So let's introduce the characters first. Yeah, let's introduce the players and their characters. Then we'll get into a recap that Kyle's going to be so kind to lay on us. So who do we got tonight? Let's start with Jesse. Jesse, what's going on, man? You're back once again.
Yep. Hey guys, I play Baleful. He is our two-handed weapon specialist. We learned a little bit about him last week. He definitely does not like having his armor dirty. And for the first time, he started taking it off, cleaning it, in this room, no less. So maybe we can learn more about that. We'll see.
Excellent, excellent. Looking forward to see what our drained fighter can do tonight. Resources are running thin. We'll see what happens. And also with us tonight, once again, my old friend Ted. How you doing, Ted?
What's going on, guys? Back for another round of mayhem and fun. Bringing back Father Cadwin of Clan Sunforge, our Dwarven battle priest, who has no problems dropping the hammer and bringing the heals when it's all necessary. Looking for another night of good times and fun and seeing what we bring as we close in on this, hopefully.
Excellent. I should mention everybody's 10th level. They might gain 11th level. We'll see. Thanks for that, Ted. And, of course, my really good friend, going back since the very start of this campaign, been there for almost the entire campaign. That would be Kyle. What's going on, Kyle?
Hello, guys. I'm Kyle. I play Arthurian or Burgunder. He's the crusty old veteran of the Abomination Vault. I've been playing him forever. Oh, what? Just since 3rd level we've been playing these guys? Been a really long time. They've absolutely taken a beating over the years. And, yeah, he's kind of mysterious himself. Got a little tapping into a little bit of that barbaric rage-esque type of thing. He is also bringing the Warhammer and don't mind smashing down doors, kicking gnomes in, or headbutting people right in the hips. He's one of those dwarves.
Yes, he is.
And yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Excellent. Thanks, Kyle. And while you're at it, Kyle, go ahead and give us a recap of the last session briefly and set us all up for tonight's session. Go for it.
Oh boy, last session it was madness, murder, death, and mayhem. We did some exploring around one of the chambers, and we went further north into kind of looked like a torture room type of place, and we encountered and found some of these crystal ball esque things. Then we heard some noises and found a whole bunch of glass, for lack of a better word, glass golems. We kind of engaged them pretty quick. Everybody kind of collapsed down. I was really proud of that. Good stuff there. We had a bunch of those we had to kill. Did some more exploring off to the west. Opened up a room and found some will-o-wisps. And as anybody who knows me personally outside of the game knows, I absolutely hate will-o-wisps. So we didn't listen, we didn't talk, we didn't negotiate. We just started throwing hammers, and we defeated those will-o'-the-wisps. Kept going. Did some exploration, did some exploring. We found a hallway. We stepped into it and went to the east, and our minds were filled with past experiences here in the Gauntlet, and it was a very intense moment. Then we came bursting into this chamber, and that's kind of where we're at. Kind of mentally collecting ourselves for a moment, and getting ready to smash down some more doors, possibly.
Excellent. You get an extra hero point, Kyle. Everybody else starts off with 1. All right, so you're all in pretty good shape. You've done a lot of healing from the last session. Of course, Baleful, as I said, has drained 2 currently. See if that plays a role. So, after the carnage they've left behind further north and to the west, companions have found themselves in yet another abandoned chamber, a large chamber. Vaulted ceilings high above. To the east of the chamber, they see 3 large pipes, maybe 3-4 feet inside in diameter, where you could actually crawl inside, but they're blocked by what looks like this iris type door, this enclosure that keeps it from opening. And they don't see any mechanisms to open them. They're not sure what it is, but yeah, they've done a little investigating. To the north, doors that lead to a chamber where they had fought the whispering skeletal creature and her minions. Lady Whisperer, I think her name was. Well, they decided to take her on and defeat her and her minions, and that was that. To the south, 2 large double doors of stone lay before them. To the west, a single door leading to a corridor. A mysterious corridor, fully lit. Obviously, some magic is present there, as the walls themselves were alive, as each companion looked and saw memories from their past playing out along the walls. They vacated that chamber pretty quick, or corridor rather, and now found themselves in this current room. The door to the west is still open, of course, as agreed upon by the companions. Let's take a look at this room. Jog my memory here. I'll read it. This chamber looks much like the room to the north, except the gray door to the west is carved with frightened faces rather than mist. This is the door you just walked through to get in here. And there are 3 metal tubes rather than 2 along the east wall. Pipes, as I call them. The basin of reeds and swamp water is in the south of the chamber. The northern chamber had one to the north wall, this big basin of reeds. Looks very similar to the one that had those screaming skulls in it that were demanding, "Throw down the globes here, smash them, bring them to us." You defeated those floating skulls, but there was a basin full of reeds and water here. And of course, the cleric, Cadwin, and Arthurian, and probably you as well, Valifor, recognize these reeds and swamp water. This whole theme just screams of Nimbaloth. You get the feeling that this whole underground area has something to do with her. Or it, I should say. It's a very indiscriminate god. Not good, not evil, but all about death and decay. Symbolized by the skull with moss overtaking it. That's her symbol, its symbol. So, with that said, what would you like to do? you'd like to reinvestigate something because we forgot from the last session, please do so.
Yeah, I'll head down to the southern doors and take a listen. I wonder if more of these will-o-wispy little buggers are gonna come peeping out the swamp holes at us.
I'll move down and check the other set of doors.
Oi, Father Cadwin, I want to run a theory by you.
All right, let's hear it.
We've been seeing a lot more of this nimble stuff thingy, some of the loaded with crap that we've been seeing. You think this might be that temple thingy?
Considering we've been seeing so much of the symbol, I'd say it's a good chance.
What do you know about Nimbaloth? I don't know hardly nothing. All I know is she don't like company and she kind of likes death.
Well, let me do a good old religion check there and see what I know.
Aye, Valley, for how many of our friends has Nimbaloth claimed in this place, I wonder?
Maybe we can get our revenge past those doors. We might have to break them down.
Aye, lad, aye. And you would see, Jess, a very large maul strapped to Arthurian's back. He's fully prepared to take that step.
Baleful just says, "Hammer away, my friend. Time to see what's behind those doors."
Aye, but first, come here, Valleyfur. I got a favor.
I'll move down.
Whenever Valifor comes down, Arthurian will whisper to him, "If something happens to me in there, lad, you can leave me. It's all right."
You know, I've heard this before. Never goes that way, you know that. There's a reason we're still alive.
Aye, but I just want you to know, don't bury me in the high mount.
That is a promise.
Something happens to me, lad, just take me out to the pier and put me in a little boat and send me on my way.
Okay, I'll make sure to light it on fire as well.
Aye. Ain't got much family left worth saving. So, y'all were the family I chose. Right, let's get cracking.
Hopefully this isn't foreshadowing.
Enough of this mushy shite. Let's get cracking.
Alright.
Alright, so I've got a perception roll here for Vergrunder. I've got a religion check for Cadwine. So you were listening at the door?
Yeah.
Silence. Nothing. The doors are made of stone.
Cadwin was doing a recall knowledge on Nimbaloth, the religion check.
I have a feat as well that gives me a +2 to identify unnatural stonework.
Unnatural. These doors, that's what you're looking at, right?
Yes, sir.
They look like they were master crafted ages upon ages ago. Perhaps far longer than the more recent, it seems, gauntlet, suggesting that this has been here even longer. They are naturally carved, and they look incredibly sturdy for their age. You couldn't just force them open. You could batter them down.
Alright, well, time to get hammering, lads.
The religion. I pretty much revealed all there was throughout this campaign about Nimbaloth. I don't know how much you remember, Ted. You might not have been here for a lot of it, but I can't find the journal entry for this deity for some reason, even in the compendium. So I have nothing to refer to, but some of the things that I do know that you may or may not already know, that you can discern from the various etchings and designs throughout this place that you've moved through, particularly down here, is that it is some type of temple to Nimbaloth. Nimbaloth is a kind of a neutral type god that represents death and decay. It's an outer god. In other words, it's not one of the main gods. It's a deity that would be perhaps worshipped by cults in secret. In fact, it's said that Belcora worshipped, and her family worshipped Nimbaloth. And hence, that's why you see a lot of the symbols of Nimbaloth throughout her creation. This you would know. Any other questions you could specifically ask me, and maybe I can give you an answer? Or demand a roll?
That'll suffice.
Okay, if you'd like to batter down one of the double doors, you can do so.
Yep. He'll actually look to Baleful and Cadwin. Keep your eyes on the swivel, lads. I don't know how loud this is going to be on the other side.
You can make an
He's
attack
gonna
roll, and then just
Yep.
to see if you get a crit. And then roll damage.
39.
That's going to be a crit.
Absolutely shitty damage.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll keep that roll to give us an idea of how long it's going to take to do this. I'm not going to have you roll and roll and roll and roll and roll. I'll just figure out how much time goes by. Any checks needed for random encounters will be made. I'm assuming you're watching your backs towards the west and the north where there are doors. And sadly, this is going to take you about a half an hour hammering by yourself. But you do actually begin to see progress as it begins to, you start to produce this hole that begins to crumble in on itself, maybe 4 foot high, enough for a dwarf, unless you're a tall dwarf. You could squeeze through, but it takes about a half an hour of time. It's loud. It echoes. And you guys watching this happen, weapons prepared, have an unease about this loudness going on. You're pretty confident that, oh, we've defeated everything. There's nobody we left behind us, these creatures, these monsters. But you're a little bit nervous about this sound bringing more creatures that you don't know about or from the upper levels down here. Half hour goes by.
About 10 minutes into it, Cadwin will step up and help him batter down the door.
Okay. It won't save any time, but half hour goes by.
Boy, how many times have I done this, Jeff?
I know, right?
Especially in the early days. How many times have I done this?
Wow. they definitely know we're here now.
Alright, be ready for battle.
Yeah. I'll be right side by side with you. We'll go through.
Okay, so you managed to batter a hole in the one door. And you see blackness ahead. Well, you see with your infravision, you see maybe the wall. It may be 40 feet in front of you. The opposite wall from where you're standing is about 40 feet away. And you get the feeling that it's a very wide, big room in here. Similar to where you're standing.
Alright. I'll kind of go through and approach this corner and and peer around the corner and see what I can see with my dark vision. Alright. And then I'll kind of motion for Cadwin and Baleful.
Yep, I'll move right down next to you.
All right, you squeeze through the doorway. Baleful walks in with his glowing shield or whatever is glowing on him, lighting up the chamber. Now, this door behind you, Cadwin, has been broken through. It's broken, cannot be closed. It cannot be opened. There's a permanent hole in it. So be aware of that. I'll put a note on the map while you guys discuss what you do. I'll read you some text first. Hold on. This large room has double doors of black stone. To the north, you pass through one. Is it black stone? Is this the right room? All right, so they're black stone. I should have pointed that out. And an enormous slab of rough-hewn rock blocking what looks like a passage to the south. Down here, this 25-foot wide slab of rock looks like it's blocking a passage beyond. 2 metal tubes jut into this room from the east wall. Both of their mechanical irises are open.
And I'll head over to one of the irises and look and see if I can see through the tube.
The boulder that's blocking the path, does it look like it was put there or it fell there? Like fell out of the ceiling or something.
Put this right here. The southern slab you're talking about?
Yeah, I'll go take a look at it.
Okay, that's a huge, big slab of rock that just covers that whole 25-foot expanse in the south. Natural rock just blocking any further progress to the south. It's blocking something. What were you doing, Vergrunder?
I was heading over to one of the tubes since you said the irises were open.
Yes. How about you, Cadwin?
I'll head down to the other tube.
Tubes. Okay, let me move this note so it's inside this room. Yeah, that'll work. All right, the tubes. So you can see through the other side, and it looks like, looking into it with your dark vision, let me see, there's a little symbol for a secret door here. Let me open them. Can you see through there, Cadwin?
I can.
you go. So you can see there's some type of mist beyond, and you hear the trickle of water. And it looks like a big open area at the end of these pipes, which look like they run maybe 15, 20 or more feet. They're big enough where you could actually get up there and kneel your way and walk through them and see what's on the other end. You also feel that they're slightly slanted downward a little bit. Just a little bit. But there's something on the other side of this. Both of you and Vergrunder see this. Jesse, were you doing anything else? Vergrunder or Baleful?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the dwarves can come down here and search for secret doors. Maybe there's a secret way to get this slab open. I'm not too good at it, but you guys are good with your stonework. Maybe you could figure this out.
If you want to make a crafts check or a perception check, craft check would be most appropriate. Perception will just tell you what you see, but craft check will tell you, is there some way this looks like it moves up or down or sideways, or some kind of mechanical device might move? That's what making a craft check would tell you, if there was such information. So you may pick one and roll it. For Baleful.
Okay,
All
we'll
right.
try crafting.
I'm getting called away. I'll be back.
Okay. I'll save that description when he gets back. Okay, well,
What?
What?
Yeah, Arthurian will look to Caedwin. Doesn't this look like that gas that y'all got involved in?
I am not feeling too good about it, but there may be a way through if we can manage to get through it.
I think I sees a lever in there.
Climb up in and take a look.
So, Cadwin's going to take a deep breath and hold his breath. He's going to climb through that pipe.
Yeah, same. I'll take a deep breath and go through mine.
I'll put you right outside of the pipe so you get a better look. This massive cavern extending to the north is actually a thick swamp, moist and stinking. You notice this as soon as you start to climb inside these tubes. It smells. It smells of organic rot and decay. When you reach the end, you see that you're about 15 feet above where the swamp layer sets. You see lots of mud, reeds everywhere, climbing along the wall, these large plants. There's water. No telling how deep it is. You're kind of thinking maybe it's not so deep, but the mud that you also see. You see what looks like these metal boxes, very rusted. 2 of them are directly in front of you. Maybe 10 feet in front of you, but, down on the surface. They're sticking out of the mud and the water. They look like they're metal, and they're very, very rusted. In the section you're at, in the southern portion, you see that about 20 feet further south from you, Cadwin, you can see what looks like a rounded metal dam. Looking at it, it looks like it might have slid upward. Because at the very top of it, you see this gap, a very small gap. You can't see beyond it from where you are. You might not be able to see it at all if you climbed up there, if that was possible. But there is a gap there, maybe an inch or two, and water is trickling over it, almost like a little waterfall. It's not coming down heavy, but there's definitely water slowly coming down and dripping down into the swamp. Hence, it's like a dam. Ancient gears on either side of this dam appear as if they might lower this thing. Those streaks of rust show it hasn't moved in quite some time. As far as you can tell to the north, it looks like the water is a bit deeper in the distance. It narrows to a point where you can't barely see any further. There's a bigger core cavern up ahead. And you do catch a glimpse of what looks like more of these boxes, these metal boxes, sticking up out of the surface in the distance. You see about 6 or so of them. Or maybe more. Decisions.
Adam will motion to head back. He'll crawl back up the pipe to the other end.
Yeah, I'll crawl back too.
You're holding your breath.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
Right.
still holding the breath.
Yeah, right before you held your breath and stepped into these things, that's when you discovered the smell was stinky. Just to clarify. Probably the reason you held your breath anyway, not in the poison, if there is any. All right. Baleful is still looking at that stone structure in the south. You also see a door in the northwest corner of the room. There's like a little door in that one little wall there. Yeah.
Why not? I'll head over to it and take a listen.
Getting yourself in trouble while Baleful is away.
Yes.
How about you, Cadwin? You following up behind?
Yeah, he'll follow along.
All right. Blind check. Silence. Deathly cold silence.
Does it look like I can open this door, or do I have to batter it down?
This door is iron. It's not iron, it's a wooden door, but it has iron fittings and hinges, and it has a latch. Unlike many of the other doors, which are stone, this is a simple door.
Yeah, I'll try to work the latch.
It's a bare, white-walled room. Aged, but definitely contrasts from all the other chambers. There's nothing in here. Hasn't been entered in what looks like ages. The door was very slow to open, as it was kind of stuck with the moisture of this place. Kind of swollen. But she did manage to push it open with no test required. There's nothing in here.
Oh, it's such a different colored room than the rest. There's gotta be something here. I'm gonna take a look at the walls with my unusual stonework. See what I can see. Kind of run my hands along the wall, see if I can see any outline for any hidden doors or anything like that.
What are you
Any
doing?
traps or.
What are you doing, Catwoman?
Adam will step into the room with him. But he'll stay more close to the door. That way he can keep an eye on both.
Okay.
I'm back.
All right. Well, you're preoccupied staring at that stone wall. You're not sure what the dwarves are doing. They're in a chamber behind you, but you don't know that. And yeah, they left you behind. For Grunder, you definitely find an outline of a door. Although you don't see how it would actually work. Maybe pushing, tweaking, whatever, but you see an outline of a door directly in front of you. It's right in the middle of that wall. Right there.
Yeah, I'll kind of call that out to everybody. Oi, we got a hidden door over here. And I'm definitely saying it loud enough where you can hear it, Baleful.
Yeah, hopefully I can hear it so I can follow your voice.
Oh, you can definitely hear it.
Adam will relay anyway. Go forward, come join us.
All right, I'll make my way up.
And what were you doing specifically, Jesse? At that wall?
Yeah, I was
Did you
asking if one of them could search for a secret mechanism to maybe open that thing, but
Oh, I see.
we could do that after.
Yeah, you made a crafting check. As you're looking at this wall, you're trying to look for mechanisms or anything that would make this work. You have no clue how this would work. You imagine maybe there's some kind of pulleys or chains above or in the walls, but you have no clue how that would be possible. This wall looks like yet another portal to be smashed by the dwarves. And just then you hear behind you, Baleful, here! You make your way over to where the dwarves currently are in this white room. And peeking in, you see that Bergrunder is calling out, I found a secret door, aye! Right where he's standing.
And then we're going to see what we can do to get it open.
All right, give me two things. Don't just say, I'm going to see, and then I'm going to make a perception check. Tell me what you're doing so I can decide what to do. How are you looking for a mechanism? Are you taking out your blade and trying to run along the perimeter of this door and make it clear? Maybe hit a latch? Are you looking for discolored blocks of stone in the floor or the wall around it? Or any hidden alcoves that might be hard to see along any portion of the wall or floor? Be a little bit descriptive so I can see what we can do here.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'm running my hands along the wall where the door is, trying to see if I can maybe hit a button or find a latch, or kind of running my hand along the outline of the door and see what I can maybe possibly find there, see if I can find a mechanism, then just kind of go wall by wall and see if maybe the mechanism, maybe I can find a button or a block to push in. But I'm mainly using my hands to run over the stone.
Okay. And how about you two? You're just going to watch him?
Well, Catalan was going to step up here beside him and do the same to the other side, kind of speed up the process.
Okay.
Just kind of using his hand to feel along, looking for any latches or buttons or stones that can be pressed to release the door.
Okay. How about you, Baleful?
The door, we have to break it?
No.
Okay. I'll keep my eye on the door in case anything comes up behind us.
All right. Okay, with that, give me a blind perception check from the two dwarves. Do you have any kind of lore involving stonework? I know you have an ability for your ancestry. Do you have any lore?
I do not.
How about craftsmanship? What are your crafting skills? Is anybody an expert?
No, I'm just trained, but I got legal lore.
All right, Vergrunder. After a short while, 10 minutes, looking and looking and looking, mark off some time. Whatever works this door, at least on this side of the room, there's nothing. You're not seeing any discolored stone or anything like that. There's no latches, levers. You run your blade along the perimeter as far as you can reach of what looks like a door. And you have, in your mind, this is a one-way door. Like as if it's not meant to be opened from this side. This is what you can get from this.
Ah, interesting. So the mechanisms to release it are on the other side. We're not going to find the latch over here.
Kind will kind of smirk and grunt and heft his warhammer, unless you got the right key.
Aye, we do carry the master keys.
Oh my god, here we go. All right. No matter how much I prepare for a session, you guys always do something totally different. Every freaking time. Let's do this. Let's smash another door. Go ahead, Cadwin. Lay into that.
Hey, it's not failed me yet, so
No, it hasn't.
why?
I should know this. I should know this.
It's just a straight D20, or
Just make a d20 roll. I want to see if you get the crit. Ooh, you almost got a 1. 13. All right. Make another one to see if... No, that is actually a hit, but it's not crit. All right, I'm going to...
Now that's not an attack roll. That's just a straight D20 roll.
Oh, I want an attack roll.
Oh well, let me give you an attack roll.
Yeah. No wonder it's so low. There you go. That's a crit. Wham! Your hammer goes into it, and you're going to try and break through?
Oh yeah, he's using the master key.
Okay. It takes you about 15 minutes of heavy hitting. This door was never it was very solid, but heavy hitting to break down through this door. Break down this door. And eventually you start to see your way through. Not big enough to move through, but you can actually see maybe a 5-inch, 6-inch diameter hole looking into this chamber beyond. And you see the walls, floor, and ceiling of this long hall look also of white stone. And you can also see, unnervingly, a swirl of overlapping and shifting images. You can't see clearly what those images are, but it's alive. It's very much like that earlier corridor you passed through, where the walls had images, but you can't make these images out. You're not sure what they're of or what they could be. You'd have to make a huge hole and get through this thing to see clearly. But there's something running along the walls. These images. So do you wish to continue and bash a hole to get through?
He'll let the others take a look, and then he'll kind of see what they say. Yeah, do we want to continue on and deal with that, or do we want to try to find another way?
Well, there are other doors back there that we can investigate. At least we know we got a hole started.
So, I know you're not asking me this, but for your own benefit, I will tell you that looking at your map that you've been recording all this time, you see that this corridor, although it's wider, runs parallel to that smaller corridor, which was only 5 foot wide, which looks to be only maybe 20 feet away, actually, to the north. But this corridor is much wider, but it's running parallel to that one. You can see that on your map. Maybe these are connected.
Aye, maybe we can get into it from up there.
Baleful puts the map away.
All right, guys. I'm getting called away again.
Oh, jeez.
Be back.
All right.
Busy night. All right, I'll be back.
Okay.
I
So
think if we could have gone into it from out there, we'd have found it. We were pretty thorough.
Yeah, true. Well, why don't we go investigate the other doors and then we can come back to this one if they prove uneventful. Because we're doing a lot of hammering. Something's going to come out sooner or later.
Let us save us from having to open the door. They want it.
Yeah, true.
what did you want to do? 0.
Why not? We'll go ahead and keep battering it.
I don't think there were any other doors to check. So, not that we knew of, anyway. So I'll keep hammering away at it.
All right. It's going to take about 10 more minutes. You make a nice doorway through. No roll necessary. That whole note is useless now. Let me get rid of it. Destroyed. Secret door destroyed. And let's change it to red font because I can't see it. Okay. Yeah, walls, floor, and a ceiling of this long hall swirl with overlapping shifting images. I'll have to read a little bit before I can get more specific. You ponder what your next move is now that the doorway is open. Did I open the door for you? I don't think I did.
No.
There you go. I should have done that before.
Well, should we keep going down this way and see where this goes?
I don't think we have much choice.
Yeah, well, I see a turn up to the north down there, so maybe there's another door or something we can get into.
Everyone will stick to the side he's at by the wall. Won't walk down the middle. He'll stick to the side and make his way towards the far end. Kind of going slow and got a suspicious feeling about this floor. He's not sure how to check for traps or anything, but he's just kind of scooting forward, feeling for anything that's out of place.
Yeah, I got my shield at the ready. Yeah. Slow pace here.
Jeez, I forgot how to do this. I literally forgot how to Pathfinder. What do I do here? Ah, okay. All right, first of all, as you step through this portal, which you made a hole into, you clearly see all along the walls more of these images. Both of you see this. On both sides of the wall, you see, Vergrunder, you see yourself. You see yourself many, many years ago climbing this part of a mountain. You must have slipped off a ledge and landed, and now you're trying to climb your way back up. And all of a sudden, the rocks under your feet give way, and you're dangling, and your one hand comes free. You drop your hammer, and it falls into an abyss below, and you're just hanging on with one hand. You see one of your friends that have been following you above you, 10 feet away, reach down towards you. Grab my hand! Vergrunda, grab my hand! He's too far away. You're going to have to climb even further, but you're slipping. The grasp of this rock is slipping. It's giving away, Vergrunder. Cadwin, you also, you see all along the wall, you see yourself running once again. This time, looking behind you, you see a crowd of men, humans, men, chasing after you with clubs and pitchforks. Where is the witch? That evil dwarf! We must get him! Let's kill him! You hear the voices speak to you. You're running, you're looking for cover. You find yourself in the woods, deep, trying to hide behind a log. Covered in moss and wet, you almost slip to the ground as you try to hide. And you hear the voices getting closer and getting closer. Where is he? Where is he? I'll run him through with my pitchfork. You pull your eyes away briefly, Cadwin, and look further down the hall. You see more images. You see more images that can only be described as your failings, your failures, both in your studies, your religious studies to Trud, including one failure in particular that really stands out to you. While you were in your studies and you were young, what do you think that failure would be? Cadwin, describe it if you can. Long ago.
Long ago, when he was young, he wasn't quite as devout as he was now, or is now. And oftentimes he would forsake his studies to sneak out and carouse with the others. One particular incident led to one of his fellow acolytes getting severely hurt, severely crippled, losing the loss of his legs. Cadwin always blamed himself for that because he had been a part of it. He had actually insisted they go down that certain passage to check something out, to just check a curiosity. But the passage had been too dangerous, had been unstable, and his friend was severely injured because of that.
And it's painful for you. Yes?
It is. He blames himself to this day.
You've taken 16 points of mental damage. However, I'll allow you a basic will save. Okay, so yeah, 16 points of mental damage fills your mind as you relive these events and your failures. But Grunder, you also are seeing images along the walls of your own failings as a warrior, a soldier. And what do you think one of your biggest failings was from your past?
Oh, that's an easy one. An elven woman. Whenever he would work as a guard for High Helm, as a caravan guard, he would, deal with the local inhabitants and whatnot on the surface. And he met and was bewitched by an elven woman, and that caused a whole bunch of grief. Still carries parts of her with him to this day. The necklace. Oh yeah, that was one of his failings.
You see this relived upon the wall. Tear begins to form up in your eye as you're drawn deeper and deeper, contemplating your failures. Perhaps even more future failures. Give me a basic will save.
Cadwin would see Arthurian put a hand over his heart, and you would just hear him whisper, Hannah.
That was particularly harmful as you take almost 40 points of mental damage. Now, I gave you a few choices here. You're very close to escaping this horrible corridor. You know, in fact, that behind you is the portal that you just stepped through. And the mere seconds that you've stood here staring at this almost psychic imagery portrayed along the walls, there's a brief moment where you catch yourselves. You regain your normal thinking briefly. I'm going to give you a few options, and then you individually choose what to do. There is an action called Avert Gaze. I don't think we've ever used it. But there is an action called Avert Gaze, and it allows you to literally hide your eyes from the wall. It's your action during rounds, and it might be of benefit here as you're drawn to these images. Or, knowing there's a portal behind you, you could step out of the room and get away from these images altogether. Or you can continue marching forward down this corridor with the images still there, maybe averting your eyes, but all along these walls you see and you hear whispers. So I will ask you in these important few seconds, what do you do, Cadwin?
He's going to avert his eyes.
You're going to stand your ground?
He'll continue down. But he'll... Now, avert gaze, is that the full action, or is that just like a single action?
Well, we're not literally in rounds right now. So if we do go to rounds, that will be your action you'll be doing. You'll still be doing other things, but it'll be harder for you to hit creatures, for instance, because you're averting your gaze.
That's fine. I figured that he basically the thought is he's going to avert his gaze from the walls and continue down the hall.
If I could find the link, I'll put it in the chat to Avert Gaze. I don't see it on here.
You read my mind.
But how about you, Vergrunder? What are you doing apart from what Cadwin is doing? Because you don't see what he's doing. What are you doing?
Well, Arthurian knows that we gotta get some forward movement somewhere. So he's gonna actually avert his gaze and raise his shield and keep going down the hallway.
Okay. Right. Alright, let me see if Avert Gaze is on here. There it is. Let me open this up. And we'll all take a look at it. Let's see, how do I put this in the chat? Do you just drag these things? I think so.
Yeah, I believe so.
Let me put that in the chat. See it? It's Avert Gaze. You can open that up and read it to yourselves. So it's an action. It's what you take during encounters, but it's what you're doing right now. So if an encounter breaks out and we go into that, this is what you're doing for an action automatically. You avert your gaze from danger. +2 circumstance bonus to saves against visual abilities that require you to look at a creature or object, looking at the walls in this case. So you're not looking at the walls. You'll get a +2 while being in this chamber, this hallway, on any saves you have to make. Your gaze remains averted until the start of your next turn, where you spend another of your valuable actions to maintain this avert gaze. But like I said, we're not in encounter mode, so this is just something you're always doing at the moment anyway. Okay, so what that'll mean is as you move down this corridor and I ask for these savings throws, you have a bonus, +2 circumstance. However, let's put you down the hallway about this far. And it's at this point you both hear this independently of one another, but you hear whispers. You hear a voice. It's calling to you. This pain can be taken from you. Do you want it to stop? I can make it stop for you. So as you make your way down this corridor, both of you, for Grunder, how do you reply to these whispers that promise to take away this pain of despair that you can see? You're averting your gaze, but you still see it. There will be more tests to come, I'm sure. How do you reply to these whispers in your mind?
You can't take away my grief. It's too deep.
So you resist the temptation.
Yes.
How about you, Cadwin?
Cadwin will also resist by calling upon Trud and reciting prayers to try to steel him against these temptations.
All right. Let's see. Okay. All right, in this case, what I'm going to do is we're going to go to rounds, since we're going to do this. I will take away one action from you, not for the averting gaze, but for the movement into the hallway. That would be your first action. Let me get this set up properly. I don't want to mess up. Okay, let me add an encounter. Let's go to that encounter. Okay, and then let's put you both in the encounter tracker. You could both roll your initiatives. Using perception.
Our rolls suck tonight, Cadwin.
Yeah, I can agree on that one.
So here's what I'll let you do. I've already moved you 5, 10 feet, 20 feet, I think. So whatever your movement rate is for a action, if it's 25, move yourself forward an extra 5 feet. If it's 20, then you're fine. That would be your one action. That would give you 2 more actions apiece. This is both of you. We're going to start with you, Vergrunder. You can move an extra 5 feet to finish your first action.
Yeah, my movement is 20, so I'm good.
Okay. Get 2 more actions.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
You're already averting your eyes. I'm going to give you that for free, so you still have 2 actions.
Yeah, since I'm kind of averting and hiding my eyes behind my shield, I'm just gonna keep moving. There's 1, and there's 2. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep moving.
Okay. And you're still averting your eyes.
Yep.
Okay, Cadwin.
Yeah, Kedwin's basically doing the same.
Okay. Do you move 20
we
as
have
well?
we have the same movement speed, so we're keeping pace.
All right, both averting your eyes. All right, so at this stage, I would like you both to make basic will saves. You get a +2, so 25 plus 2 is 27.
I'm actually gonna hero point that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I will too.
Okay. Oh.
That's a critical.
+2, that's 41.
That's with the +2.
Okay. Yeah, I see it. +2. Wow. You guys both aced it that time. It's not crit for either one of you, but it is success.
That'd be a critical save for me.
Crit. All right. That means only for Grunder. It's going to take some mental damage. It's going to be halved for his success. So let's do that. So like 12 points of damage should have hit you. Mental damage. As hard as you try to avert your eyes, you still hear the whispers and you see little glimpses of what's happening. It's hard. It's difficult. You take a little bit of damage. Cadwin, you got away scot-free by Thrud. Go to round 2. Start with a group.
I'm back.
All right, before we get into round 2, let's see what happens to Baleful in this whole situation. The dwarves have gotten themselves into some trouble. They're weathering the storm, but you're going to be drug into this. Now, you're in the back of this chamber for Baleful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And the dwarves managed to smash through this secret door. It took some time, but it's a big enough hole to move through. And as they step through, they're kind of muttering to themselves, and they're immediately lost in something. They're just slowly moving forward. And as you follow in behind them, I assume you are. Yes?
Yeah, it would be.
You peek through this chamber, and you see on both sides of this wall, images once again appear. You see images of yourself. Your past failings when you were young. All those weights that you tried to lift at your farm homestead for you to impress your father, only to snap the stick that was holding the stone right in half, and he yelled at you for being such a failure. You can't even train right. What's the matter with you? What kind of soldier will you make one day? Terrible. And you feel your failure as he admonishes you. Do you continue to step in? Do you step inside? Yes or no
Do
question.
I see them? Can I see them?
Yeah, they're right in
as
front
well?
of you. They're right in front of you. Just tell me if
Okay,
you
I'm
step
gonna
in.
Yeah, I step in.
All right. As you step in, you see even more images. You hear voices. Tell me, describe for us one of those images of one of your great failings in life. Maybe you were young. Maybe it was recent. Maybe it was here that something happened in the gauntlet where you failed miserably. Whatever this event is, you begin to replay it in your mind. You see it. You hear the voices. Describe for us what that failing is.
One of Valfor's greatest failings that he sees in his years of turmoil goes back to when he was very young and he was a slave in the gladiatorial arenas. And he's seen a lot of innocent people being murdered by gladiators that were paid off and animals that were trained to kill. He always felt like he could have did more to help those people, and it haunts him to this day.
Okay. Give me a will save as you try and process these thoughts, these mental images.
Yuck. You got a 21, Jeff.
Does that pass or does that fail? Because if it fails, I'll hero point it.
This is going to be a critical failure.
I will re-roll it.
Nat
See,
20.
From now on, instead of asking me if it's a failure or not, you make the decision whether or not to roll it or not. So you have to make the decision without knowing.
I know, it's just every time I re-roll, you say, oh, you would have passed anyway.
That's the chance you take.
Yep. All right. Nat 20.
Now you got a critical success. All right. You shake off these thoughts and images. They don't seem to bother you. Now, I'm going to put you in the initiative order, and I'm going to give you one full turn to take action. Let me move you up to about, we'll say right there. Now, here's the choices. Well, let me take you back. Hold on. As the dwarves are right in front of you, they're kind of pacing forward. I'm going to give you a few options, okay? Number one, you're close to the doorway. This room and chamber is very unsettling. You saw these earlier in the room leading to this area. That small room that you left behind, these images along the walls. These images are very much about failure and very disparaging. Now, you're close to the doorway. You could easily step back into the chamber and not look at these images anymore, leaving your dwarven friends behind. Or you could attempt to avert your gaze. Literally, you're kind of covering your eyes, trying to avoid looking at the images. What that will do for you is it will give you a +2 circumstance bonus on future savings throws like you just made, your will savings throw. All right? It'll give you a little bonus to avoid looking at these images. If you want to avert your gaze and follow your dwarven friends, that's an option. So what would you like to do? Step through the...
Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to avert my eyes and make my way to the dwarves and try to push them along as far as I can to get them out of here.
Okay.
Maybe deeper in.
Here's where you are currently at this point. You'll be right behind the dwarves in a second. Hold on. I got to put you in the tracker. And okay, and you would be first. Okay, so that's going to put you right. Do you want to be side by side Vigrunder? Or do you want to be behind them? Or do you want to be ahead of them?
Yeah, get me as far in as possible.
Oh, right there.
Okay.
Now, give me another will save. Now, this time you get a +2 on this. You're a little bit faster than the dwarves. All right, that is going to be a success. You're still going to take some mental damage, as it's hard to not see the images along these walls, these psychic portrayals, and to hear the voices calling to you. And I should have mentioned one other thing. I'll do that in a second. Let me give you your damage. It's going to be halved. All right, so you took about 14 or something like that damage. Something like that. 13. Okay? Mental damage.
Okay.
Now, as you're following behind the dwarves and eventually you catch up to them and begin to pass them, you hear a whisper in your ear. And it's calling to you. It said, "All this pain can be taken from you. Let me take it away. I can help you." What is your response? It's a whisper in your own ear. You're not sure the dwarves hear this, but how do you respond to that?
First, do I recognize this voice?
No. Totally alien.
Baleful would respond to that by saying, "Who are you? Get out of my head."
So you're not going to let it take away the pain?
No.
Okay. Now we're going to go to round 2. And by chance, it starts off with Baleful. So you're first. You get 3 actions.
Okay. Well, crap, I don't have a light source, do I?
You do.
Oh, I do? All right. I say to my companions, "This way, quickly." And then I'm going to make my way up the corridor
Are you going to
as far as
continue?
I can.
Are you going to continue to avert your gaze, because that's an action, and you have to do it
Yes.
continuously every turn? It's like raising a shield.
I am.
All right, so that's 1 action. And then you're striding.
So that's 1, Jess.
Okay. Get as close to the door as possible.
And that's 2.
You're done. Okay, let me see. I've got to look at something here. All right. For Grinder, you're going to be up next. What do you do?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep my gaze behind my shield and keep moving. There's 1. 2. I'm done.
For Cadwin?
And likewise, Cadwin will continue to avert his eyes and make his way down the hall.
Okay. All right. Let me see here. The path widens. Well, it's actually about the same size. You're going the other direction. So this description is a little bit backwards. The path continues to be wide as it makes this almost U-turn towards the direction of the east. You do see a single door ahead of you. And you see these swirling images continuing all along here. Even though you're averting your eyes, you do see there is visions continuing. Only, let me see, is this the right area? 11. I can't read the font here. 1 second. Huh. All right, in this case, everybody, as you ended your move here, start with Baleful. Give me a will save. You get a +2 on this. $25. That's going to be a failure. Try as you must to avert your eyes. Begrunder, you also make a will save. Baleful took 16 points of mental damage. Oh, as he grabs at his eyes and his forehead.
I'm gonna hero point that.
It's going to be a failure. You're going to take 26 points of damage. You can put that in. You took 26 mental. And Cadwin, you as well. You make a basic will save. As your mind floods with despair. Ooh, not tonight. The 42 crit. So you'll take no damage. Okay, we're going to go to round 3. Baleful, you're first.
Okay, I'm going to move up to the door and see if I can open it.
Simple door to open. Take an action to open it.
Yep. Open it. Get out of here.
Get 1 stride.
There you go, Jess.
Alrighty. Anything about this hallway I should know?
Yes, the images fade away in this room. You don't see those images of despair and failure. They seem to have left you behind. For Grunder, you're next.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep moving here. That's 1. And 2. I'll move up behind Baleful, and that'll be all 3.
Okay. Neither one is averting your gaze, but you don't see anything to avert from in this chamber for Grunder. You're up, Cadwin.
Catherine will continue to avert his gaze and then move forward following the others.
Does he make it out? He does. Okay. All right. So, as you leave the chamber behind, the images fade. They don't appear on this wall that you're in currently. And the door is still open, but you don't dare look back. And that'll take us out of the encounter. So, yeah, what do you do next? Baleful, you're leading the group at this point.
All right, is that a door or an opening to the north there? Right in front of me?
That's
I'm gonna walk up to that and take a look.
You've been here before. This is the corridor you first entered through. That was a secret door battered down by one of the dwarves. Which verifies you were correct when you were looking at your map. This corridor runs parallel to the one you just vacated.
Okay, well, I guess we're gonna make our way back to where we started.
Yeah, you went around.
Make a giant loop.
Yep.
I gave you hints, but
What the
nobody
heck was
listens
that
to me.
place?
Yeah, what was that about, right?
Yeah.
Will you guys role play it while I do something real quick? I'll be right back.
Well, at least we know there'll be nothing there.
True. Kind of weird though.
Aye, what's the purpose of the room if it's just gonna loop around?
Means something, but I don't know.
Well, if you remember in the beginning, the creature before we slew it said this would be a series of tests. Perhaps that was one of them.
Oh, we're alive, so does that mean we passed it?
Why, it seems like a pass to me.
Aye, so where do we go from here? Back down into the other room, investigate that stone slab?
That, or we go check out the swamp.
Aye, I'd rather check out the slab.
Yeah, let's check it out. Maybe we can find a way to open it.
Or at the very least, batter it down.
Not sure it'd be so easy on that thing. Seems like pretty solid rock.
Take 3 days to knock it down.
Doable. It is just a game.
Yeah,
Without the proper equipment, it may take that long.
yeah. I'll still head down to that wooden block in the, well, that stone block in the south and investigate. Take a look-see.
How about you, Vigrinder? Or, yeah, Valafor? Where are you?
Yeah, I'm gonna go down there with him. Maybe I can see something open it too.
Kedwin? Okay. Have this written down? I think I do. All right. So go ahead and make a perception or describe to me what you're doing to investigate, because it might call for a different test.
Yeah, kind of like same with up there. I'm kind of running my hands along, see if I can feel anything. and inspecting the stone really thoroughly, inspecting these nooks by where Cadwin is and where the other side is, and then inspecting for any release mechanism or switch or anything else.
Okay. And Cadwin, you're doing something unusual. You're over there on the other side by that little round thing.
Yeah, he's checking it out, see if maybe if it moves or if there's a slot for a lever or a switch or something that may be used to move the slab. Because he noticed one on the opposite side as well. Perhaps they work in tandem. If it does.
All right, so everybody will give me a perception roll in this case. Just straight up blind perception roll. If you have any kind of lore in stonework or you have stone cunning or anything like that, any abilities for your race, that might play a role as well in the description here that I give you. And okay. Do you have anything, Vergrunder, dealing with stonework?
Just stone cutting.
Stone cutting or cunning?
Cunning.
Cunning with an N. So you'll be the one to figure this out. And you're quite convinced that the only way through this is with the hammer. As you're investigating, though, tapping, listening, pressing and pushing and looking for things with your fingertips, for mechanisms or secret doors within this slab that's in front of you, you do notice that, in your opinion, this isn't as thick as it would perhaps make it out to be. I mean, it's so big and wide, you'd imagine it's probably pretty thick, too. It doesn't seem that way to you. In fact, when you tap it, it almost feels like it's hollow. Of course, no one else can figure this out, even if they did tap. I imagine Valifor's there. He can't tell. He doesn't have the ear for this type of thing, but you do. But there doesn't seem to be any mechanism to raise or lower this thing. This is something, some other way, perhaps magic was involved, that opened this door. You would guess that, well, break out the hammer. We'll bash this down. It's worked so far. That's what you're getting out of this. Cadwin, where you're looking now in that space, again, it doesn't seem to be anything even resembling a mechanism or a button that would have anything to do with this door, this slab. But you're ready with your hammer.
Cadwin, the stone sounds almost hollow, and it doesn't sound as thick as it would normally look like. I'm gonna start hammering on this side. You hammer on that side. We're gonna have to break through it.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, how about you, Valifor? If you want to help them, probably a blunt instrument would be best useful. Not a bladed one, but that's up to you. A pick, maybe, would be useful. But if you want to join them, or do you want to watch and guard the rear, or what?
I'll join, but I'm going to have to use my axe. But
Okay.
it'll work.
Okay. Watch out for the critical failures. But yeah. So what I'm going to ask for you next is each one of you make an attack roll. This is a pretty easy hit, so we're just trying to see if you get the crit, which is very likely. All three of you are doing this. Okay, so y'all managed crits. No crit fails. Boy, if something wanted to use stealth and sneak up on you during this racket, it would be easy. Just so you know. Oh, wait a minute. I just got the spelling for Nimbleoth here. Let me copy this real quick and see if I could find it. There it is. All right, let's leave that open so I can look at it later. All right. Each of your roll damage, this is going to be doubled. So you just roll crit. Oof. No power attack. You can't add a power attack. This is a
Yeah,
combat.
that's what I just saw. Why did it click on power attack?
Because he's got it clicked on. That's okay. I'll take it anyway. It doesn't matter. And one more attack. All right, so that's only going to take less than a minute for sure to batter that down. Let me mark off time here. It's been about an hour.
All right, lads, put your backs into it.
It's been about an hour. It only takes you a few minutes, probably because all three of you are working on this, and it seems a little bit easier to get through for whatever reason. But you all managed to batter this, what seems to be a first layer of stone, come crumbling down. But there's another layer right behind it. There's like a few inches between these slabs, and there's another second slab. Now, if you'd like to continue to keep on bashing away and get through this second slab, this second barrier, you can do so. Make your attack rolls.
Oh, well.
Yep.
That took less than a minute to do. Okay, we got a crit from Vergrunder. Crit from Baleful. Cadwin, you got a crit. Everybody got a crit. Roll your crit damage. All right. Again, the whole process probably took maybe 5 minutes, and you just hammered your way through this. Baleful, your sheer strength, even though it's not an ideal weapon to be utilizing, your sheer strength is just chipping away, and chips of stone go flying through the air like shrapnel as you cut away at this wall before you. And what it amounts to, this barrier was actually a couple feet thick in total, although it was broken up into 2 different slabs. And you can see, you haven't brought the whole thing down, but you could see that there was actually 2 walls here with only a few inches in between them, hence the shallow, hollow feel to it for Grunder. But you work your way through. And I'll move you here, so even if you're not in this chamber beyond, this is what you see as you peer into this chamber.
Oh, lovely.
The vaulted ceiling of this massive chamber, even more massive than the other ones, especially in height, reaches what looks to be 80 feet according to Dwarven dark vision, and is carved with intricate patterns of bones, swamp weeds, and misty swirls. To the south stands a huge dais its stone carved into crooked, cracked teeth. Upon the dais rests a massive skull, its eye sockets empty and its visage menacing. A channel of filthy water cuts across this room. It's directly in front of you, maybe 15 feet. Emerging from the base of the walls on the east and west side. It's running west to east. Double doors bracket each channel outlet on either side of the waterway. These things. There's double doors there. Actually, are they massive doors or just separate doorways? No, they're separate doorways. Big double doors. Okay, so that's what you see.
Right, well, let's start kicking a few doors open then, shall we?
Where would you like to go, Vigrunder? Cadwin? How about you? What perks your interest in this chamber? Valifor? What you doing, Valifor?
I'm going to move down to the water and take a look to see if there's anything in it or how deep it is. Dip my axe in.
All right, this little channel of water, maybe a few inches, and it's running west to east. And it's filthy, and it's stinky. It's green. Nasty. Perception checks blind if you're listening at those huge double doors, Cadwin and Vigrunder. Vigrunder, you hear silence, broken up by what can only be described as cackling. Hideous, otherworldly cackling, followed by silence. And then a seething sound, like something is very, very angry. There's something very unsettling about this door as you press your ear against it. Cadwin, this door is particularly damp when you press your ear against it. There is a stench coming up from underneath the door itself. It's very strong and potent, very familiar. And as you listen, you definitely hear the drops of water, little driplets of water. Bloop, 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 bloop.
Well, there's definitely someone behind this door, and it don't sound happy.
There's something over here as well.
I don't know, guys. We may be outnumbered tonight. We've got to be careful.
Right, let's go to Cadwin's door first. I'll begin heading down that way.
How about you, Valifor?
I'll make my way over to the door as well.
Right, lad, whenever you're ready, kick it open, I'll go in.
Instead of kicking it open, Cadwin will step up here to the side of it,
Let you go in.
and then he'll push the door open.
Yeah, and as soon as he does that, I'll step into the doorway.
And I'll follow behind.
Here, move to where you want to be. I'll pause for a second.
Just move me right behind you.
Gotcha.
You good there?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Look a little closer at this. I think I understand. All right. Let's open this door and see what lies beyond. The door is kicked open. Did it open? There it is. Cadwin, the others, as you peek through the door that's now swinging open, a circular pool of swamp water sits in the center of this chamber. The pool is fed by a channel in the west. It's right next to you. Between two sets of black stone double doors. There's another set of double doors to the south of you. The water is flowing out to the north through what looks like a metal dam. A thick knot of writhing reeds, like a grotesque tree, rises from the center of this pool. But the entire floor of this chamber is just pure swamp. It's muck.
Oi, Cadwin, ain't that dam we saw looking through them pipes?
Oh, it looks like this is where it's coming from. Which means it would lead to the other side.
Alright. Well, at least we know what's here, but I have a feeling we're not going to like what's behind the other door. It sounded mean and vicious.
I'm going to take a look at the bushes in the middle of the room. See if I spot anything hiding in there.
Gotta make another one. All right. So you're all stepping into the room?
Yep.
I know you are, Valifor. What about the rest
Yeah,
of you?
I would too.
All right. Soon as you start stepping foot into this muck, but keep in mind, it's not that bad. It's not like difficult ground, but it is noticeably mucky and muddy in here as you step forward into it. And as you get to the edge of this pool, Valifor, suddenly the shrubbery in the center of this thing, there's multiple plants centered by a large tree. You see motion within there. Something's moving about. It's moving around. And suddenly appearing, you see it. Let's see, I don't have a macro to show off what this thing looks like, sadly. Let me see. Let me double click him, see if this works. And click this. Nope, that's not it. This. Show players. This is what you see appearing out of the weeds.
How big is it?
Do you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, this is a medium-sized creature. So no bigger than a tall human at best. Okay. Very unsettling. Resembles a bipedal amphibian with tentacles instead of arms, and a head composed of undulate mass of what appear to be shifting, slimy, transparent eggs filled with writhing larvae. Okay? Is that grotesque enough for you?
Just a bit.
Yeah, it is a little unsettling. I like that. Need more of that. Very Cthulhu-esque. Alright, you're in the combat tracker. Everybody's going to be rolling perception. Vergrunder, your shield is raised, by the way.
Yeah.
So you're good because you're using defend. Everyone gets a +1 to your initiative. Let me see if it matters. No, it's not going to matter. Well, let me roll for the creature. See if it does matter. No, it's not going to change anything, so we're all good. All right. Creature's up first. As it sees you approach Valifor, the dwarves following behind. As I look through its host of abilities, I didn't expect you guys to go this way. You're actually going in reverse to the way I thought you'd go. I thought this would be the battle to end the evening, but no, we're going to start it off with this. Yeah, totally backwards. I love it. All right, 10 feet. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Movement. Right. It's known as swamp stride. Okay. Which means blah, 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 blah. Okay. Let's see, does it have ability? Squeeze, okay. Okay, that's important to know. Ooh. It's got some of this going on. Yes. Alright, so I think we'll open this up as it begins to move forward. Let's see, it's got a good stride to it. Let's begin. Okay, let's begin the encounter. Unpause. And let me move him right here. He's 10 feet away from you, Valifor, as it strides out from the center of this little circular pond area. It's right on the opposite edge of you, and it lashes. It reaches for you with what looks like a long tentacle. It attempts to slap you from 10 feet away. All right, so there's going to be an attack roll on you for its second action. It's going to get a solid roll there. It was a good hit. Oh boy. That's your armor class.
28.
28, 38. It's going to be a critical hit on Baleful. So what's... First of all, give me a savings throw. Fortitude. Baleful. As one of these tentacles cuts across your chest and upper arm. You get a 23. That is going to be a failure. All right, let's roll some damage. This is going to be critical. You're going to take 60 points of bludgeoning damage from this tentacle that comes whipping out at you.
Oh, you took that one on the chin, brother.
Yeah, I guess so.
Let's see. Let me double check this. I think that's what the save was for. Yes. Okay. Let me write another part. Let me write a note here real quick. This might come into play. All right. And I think that's it for the attack. So, yeah, okay. And let's see. I don't want to get stupid here playing this thing. He's got one more action. Okay, I made a mistake there. All right. That's okay. What else can he do? Rushes off. One last stride, which takes him there. And I don't know if you could see him or not. Can you still see him clearly, Baleful?
I can.
Okay. So that those weeds don't block line of sight. But I'll probably count that as light cover just because it's in the way. So that would be light cover, but it doesn't block the line of sight. That central bunch of weeds. So keep that in mind. Okay, so he's done. It's going to go to Vergrunder. Now, the only other note to mention, Vergrunder, is that you can move over top of this waterway, either hopping it or moving through it, assuming that it's only a couple inches deep. I don't know if Baleful revealed that to you, but maybe you can figure that out. And there's no difficult ground here.
Okay.
That you can see.
In that case, do one. Yeah. I'll move over to here. And does this creature have eyes? Like, can it see me?
Hey, guys.
Well, again, I'll show you the picture. If you'd like to recall knowledge on it, maybe identify it, and then be able to determine if it has eyes or whatever that is in its head.
Yeah, let's do a recall knowledge.
Okay, that's going to be occultism. This is going to be really tough, but go for it. As far as you can tell, you've never seen this creature before, but you're almost positive those things on its face, they're eyes. They're looking right at you. Every one of them. It's got all these eyes. If only you can get behind it.
Well, it can see us everywhere.
Maybe it's vulnerable to light.
Well, let me rephrase that. That wasn't the impression I wanted you to have. The eyes are all looking at you on the front of its face. If only you could get behind it. As in, its eyes are all to the front. So if you get behind of it, you would have an advantage. That's the impression I wanted to get across to you.
Ah, gotcha. Well, it seems to be looking at me, Valley, first. See what you can do.
Yep.
You're up, Baleful.
All right, I'm gonna wait until
You're pretty bad.
Cadwin goes, and then I'm gonna go after he goes.
All right, so that's, what is that called? It's not a ready, it's a
Delay.
Wait,
delay.
delay. Yeah.
All right, so what I'll do in the trackers, I'll make you invisible, and then you can jump in. Well, there's only one more person to go, so you jump in either now or after he's done. So
I'll go after he's done.
let me just move you now then. All right, Cadwin, you're up.
All right. Move down to here. And then we're going to cast needle darts.
I'm gonna give it cover. Light cover. Oh, needle darts. I probably just even have. Let's see. Make a spell attack roll. The needles do 24 piercing the needles. Does magic missile automatically hit?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so. So cover would apply in this one because you're actually making an attack roll. He'll have a +1 to his armor class. No biggie. Some weeds are in the way. Needles everywhere.
And we'll miss.
That's a miss. That's it.
That's it.
Move and spell. Okay. We got Baleful, you're up.
I was hoping to get a heal, but
Well, you should have said something to him. Help over here, medic, medic. He didn't know. You could have said that.
it's okay.
It's good role playing, that's all. You're probably looking at him funny. Why, that measly dwarf.
Yeah, he's gonna walk past him, give him a look.
You thought it was a healing spell under his lips. He was murmuring. No, it's just these darts.
So you said there's no bad terrain here, even if I move through the bushes.
Well, now that you mention, let me look at this. I don't think there is. It doesn't say here. Let me look again. I guess it's not like the other rooms. Hint, hint, hint. It seems like there should be, but I'll tell you what, if you get into the actual pool area, the circular area, we'll count that as difficult ground. That makes sense to me because it's a little deeper in there and it's even more muddy. But outside of it, if you stay outside of it, it's just normal terrain.
I'll stay outside of it.
Okay.
Move around the bottom edge.
There's 20 feet.
That's one.
There you go.
2 would put you behind it, and then you got one more left.
And I'll swing at it from the from the back.
Okay, so turns out that this creature cannot be outflanked. It does indeed is able to see all around it. Looks like Vergrunder was wrong in that respect.
That's occultism. I'm always wrong.
Oh, it was a terrible roll. $26 is the attack. Miss.
That's it. I'm done.
Okay, not a good start, you guys. Not a good start. Round 2. Ooh, what happened? There was a roll for something. Oh. Okay. Alright, it's the creature's turn first. Let's see. Okay. Alright. It's actually pretty easy to run this guy. He doesn't have that much, although he does have some extras. This would take 2 actions to do. I don't want to do that one. Okay, let me go to this.
Must be doing a lot of reading. I don't like when you're reading.
Well, I don't want to shortchange you guys and just play it stupid. There's a few things I want to kind of pay attention to and get a strategy for this creature. I don't think it's stupid. So,
Well, then, should we take 5 while you're reading?
we'll finish this round. Is that okay, Kyle? Do you need to take 5 right now?
Yeah, no, like, I'm good. I can go to the end of the round.
All right, let's finish this round and then we'll take a 5-minute break. It's probably best for all of us. Yeah, I could do... He's going to pull back defensively. All right, so it's a, what do they call it? A step. Back away from you into the pool of water. And then as it does so... Let me see. 2 more actions to do this. Let me put that in there for my reference. It suddenly begins to hover above the ground, rising 5, 10, 15, 20 feet. So it's essentially flying. All right, so it's 20 feet above you. And that took 2 actions to do that. So that would finish him. So it backed away defensively and immediately began to... I don't know how it flies. It doesn't have wings, but it has fly. Oh, maybe it's magical. And he's now 20 feet above all of you. All right, so he's out of your reach. Currently. All right, and we're going to go to Vergrunder.
Alrighty. Well, I'm gonna do a one-action swap. I'm gonna stow the warhammer and draw my hand crossbow,
Excellent.
and we're gonna see if we can throw some bolts in his direction.
So I don't think you have it loaded. Typically, a person wouldn't have a crossbow loaded. Would you agree with me on that or no?
Well, it's a hand crossbow strapped to my belt, so
All right, so it's loaded.
I would say so, since it's clipped onto my belt, ready to go.
Okay, it's a lot of stress on the strands or whatever is pulled and to constantly have it loaded, but okay. I'll let you
Way
shoot
to
it.
shoot yourself, too.
I'll let you. Go for it. Quick shot, right?
Not good enough.
It was close. It was close.
Yeah, I'm out of hero points. Not good enough. So,
So swapping was an action, and then shooting was the second action. You got one more.
I think I can reload as well.
Is it reload 1?
Yeah.
Or 0?
Reload 1.
I believe that's... It should be... 1 should be shooting and reloading in the same action. I could be wrong. Let me look that up. What is it, a hand crossbow?
Yes, sir. I stole it off the drow.
Ah. Yeah, you should be able to fire that. Well, the amount of get into the system reload the entry indicates how many interact actions it takes to reload such weapons. So a 0 is drawing and attacking in one go. And yours is a 1?
Yes.
Alright, then it takes 1 action to reload it.
Which means that's all for me.
Okay, we're going to go to Kedwin.
Edwin. We'll move here and we'll try the darts again.
Okay. He's above the terrain, so he doesn't have cover. So you do have that going for you. Oh, Cadwin.
Yeah, we'll still miss.
Okay, we're going to go to Valifor.
Okay, do I have any javelins left? I don't think I do, but take a look.
That should be a reload 0. If it even has a reload. Maybe it doesn't. It's just a javelin.
You got a short bow, but no arrows. Yep, short bow, but no arrows. Got an alchemist fire.
Yeah,
There you go.
try that. Chuck it at him.
So where is it? That's going to be actions to retrieve it.
It's in my bag.
That would be
What I'll
two,
do is I'll...
2 actions to retrieve it from the bag. Final action to throw it. So all 3 actions.
Okay.
Let's see what this does. Not good
Boy.
enough, Jeff.
Your rolls tonight.
Everybody's rolls tonight, Jess. It's not just you.
No, you.
Well, Ted can't hit either, so.
All right.
All right, well, smash.
Yeah, it falls into the liquidy ground and spreads out, smolders, and just, fades away. So mark that off your inventory. What a waste. All right, then we're going to go to round 3, but we'll take a 5-minute break. All right, so not a good start for you guys, but we'll see what happens. So let's take a 5-minute break.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Yep.
Okay, folks, we'll be right back for a little bit of an intermission. All right, here we are. Let's see where this combat is going to go to here. Got some ideas floating around by the companions, what they could possibly do. They're severely lacking in the range department. They usually have a spellcaster. Well, they do have Cadwin. No real ranged stuff going on here, so it's a little bit of a challenge this time. We'll see what they do. And first up is the creature. Let's see, can he read minds? Because if he does, I know what you're going to do, Baleful. I know what you're going to do. Let me look real quick. Because if he does, I got to take that into account. I don't think he does. Da-da-da-da. Okay. What's he going to do? He's in a nice position here, hovering over the three of you. Let's see. Does anyone here speak Aklo?
You know what? I think Chapt does.
No.
Give me a number from 1 to 6, Kyle.
4.
He's gonna stride, or he's gonna fly 20 feet.
Doesn't he have to spend an action to keep flying?
He just did. He flew. As long as he moves, that's considered flying. So it's just one action. So he spent his action flying to get to here. I want to change my elevation as well. As part of that, as he comes down, 5, 10. I think 10 feet would be good, so he'd be 10 feet from the ground. He should be, yeah, he can reach Cadwin. He has a reach of 10 feet, so he's going to lash at Cadwin for his third action. No, this is his second action. He descended as part of his flight, 10 feet for his 20 feet forward. So he's going to lash at you for his second action. And he didn't roll too well, but he does manage to hit you. I need you to make a fortitude save as this lash contacts your flesh along your neck. Okay, let me make a note. And damage. You're going to take some bludgeoning damage here. It's not critical. You got to take 25 points of bludgeoning damage from this very agile tentacle. Okay. And for his final action, he's going to attempt to grab you. which does take an action. But the attempt...
Would he be considered on the ground if he did that?
No, he could do this from 10 feet away. He's 10 feet above the ground. You can reach him from here. I'll let you reach him from this height if you want to get to him. I'm giving you a chance here. So as not to complicate it. But what's going to happen here, because he hit, he gets to make a grab attack. And in this case, he does not suffer the multiple attack penalty in his grab attempt because it's part of his special ability. So as he hits you with this tentacle, he's going to attempt to wrap it around your arms and your chest, Cadwin. So let me make an attack here. It would count as, what is this? This is first attack. Let me do this right. Am I thinking of a different creature? I think I am. I am. Forget the grab attack. That was stupid. I'm thinking of something else. My bad. He's not going to attempt to grab you. His third action will be to... He's just going to attack you again. That'll be his second attack. Okay, that's going to be a 31. That's going to hit. And make another fortitude save. And I'll roll some damage. Okay, got your save. That's fine. And for damage, you're going to take 34 points of bludgeoning damage. And his turn is done. And again, he's 10 feet above the ground. We're going to go to Vigrunder.
Yeah, I'm going to move down here and take a shot.
He's reachable now if you wanted to hammer him.
But he might not be next round, so yeah. Missed. And then we'll actually take another move to get here. And we'll call it there.
Okay, Cadwin, you're up.
Let's get all touchy-feely, do you?
He tried
We'll
to.
try and everyone will go ahead and take a swing at this guy to see if we can get him to let go. First one will miss. Nice. There we go, baby. Nope. Alright. I got robbed. Alright. This is not the night. That was a 20-year-old good too. That was not good.
Baleful.
One of those nights.
All right, just move me straight at him. Straight through the water. I'm going to attempt to knock him down. So I have to hit first.
Yeah, let me like it here in the chat. That is a hit.
All right. So do the damage, and then he has to make a save, I believe.
So we're going to take 18 points of slashing, and then I think we have to make an athletics check.
Yep.
He has to make an athletics? You.
No, Jess does to trip it to knock it down.
Oh boy,
Crit.
he's definitely tripped.
What does that say? It's just
I got a crit on my acrobatics,
athletics, you mean.
athletics.
Alright, let's look up trip real quick, because that's what it's using. You could double click on the link there. It should tell you what it is. Trip. I'm always using trip, and I forgot how to do it. That's a fun one.
Critical success, the target falls, lands prone, and takes 1d6 bludgeoning damage.
Okay, so as you trip it and pull it out of the air, that's quite dramatic. It will take some damage, so roll d6. See what kind of damage it takes as you kind of catch it while it's flying.
Be 5 points.
5 points, bludgeoning. And yeah, I'll let you pull it to the ground. So is it, I guess it's considered, yeah, we'll make it prone. It's going to have the prone going on. You got a crit on this too, so.
And then for my last action, I will whack him again.
You had to move, Bubby.
Yeah, 1, 2. Oh, trip is 2. Okay, I'm done.
Plus, you actually move through that difficult ground there. I said the swamp pool is going to be difficult ground.
Okay.
But that's okay. You're fine. Did a little damage. You pulled him down. He's no longer flying. Let me put him at 0. There. Okay, so he's on the ground. We go to round 4. He doesn't seem to be bothered. I don't know how you'd tell. And yeah, we'll leave it at that. Okay, the creature's up next. First thing he does is he stands up.
Well, you know what that means. Wacka wacka.
He's going to stand up.
Not one, Jess.
Oh,
It bounced off 19.
where's your cheat mod tonight?
Yeah.
Apparently, it done left the building, boys.
Guess so.
Your sheet mod.
God. All right. Okay, it's okay. Anyone else? No? Okay, that's a rare one. Boy, you guys are off your game. So he stood up. He's going to lash you, Baleful. As his second action, first attack, a Tenno comes whipping at you. It's going to be a 38. That's a crit.
Okay,
Yeah,
all
That's
points down.
critical.
First of all, make your fortitude save. Okay, let's roll some crit damage. Let's see what it gets. 58 points of bludgeoning damage. Clobbers you.
I am dying too.
Yes, you are.
Yup.
Now, be really careful. And for its next... Is that all its actions? Or stood up and attacked? Did I attack a second time?
No.
Nope.
He's going to fly. Well, wait a minute. Make sure I could do this. I don't think I can, actually.
I think it costs 2.
Some cool stuff here, but Where is it? Oh. All right, he's going to halash through the muck, which he doesn't seem to pay attention to, and moves quite rapidly through to the other side. He'll have cover, light cover. Actually, I got a macro for that. Let me give it to him. Lesser cover. All right, he's done. For Grunder.
Yeah, this just went sideways. He's gonna look to Caedmon. Can you get him back up, lad?
All right, I got him.
All right. We're gonna swap back to the Warhammer. We're gonna go in pursuit around the lake.
It's a pain in the ass, isn't it?
Yep. And that's all I got.
Okay, we're gonna go to Cadwin.
All right, so let's get the spells going here. First, we're going to start with Stabilize on Baleful. And we'll follow that up with one of my few remaining heal spells. Do it as a one round one. I have range spell, which allows me to do touch spells at range, even though you're right next to me. But we'll do that. He'll get back. That was a crap. 14.
Thank you. At least it gets me up.
Also, the Stabilize also gets rid of your dying condition.
I think healing does too. Any type of healing.
Okay. So what happened? He stabilized you, which gets rid of the dying condition. So you're no longer dying, you're okay. And then he healed you, which makes you conscious again, so you're no longer unconscious. All right? So
Yep.
you're back with 14 hit points. However, you are now wounded 1. The only way you get rid of wounded is through complete rest, back to your maximum hit points, or if somebody uses treat wounds on you. Magic won't do it. All right? So you are wounded 1. Now this is where you have to be careful. If you go down again, your wounded value adds to your dying condition you just received. And if you fail your recovery roll, your wounded value adds again on top of it. You could literally die in 1 turn. I think you'll last 2 turns at least, but it depends if you fail. But be careful of those wounded things, man. They are bad.
If it crits me again, I'll be wounded. I'll be dying 2,
Plus
but
1,
dying
3.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. And then if you fail the roll, then you're dying 5. You're dead.
Yep.
Yeah, boys, we might have to pineapple this one.
Been a while.
Think so.
He is prone. He'll have to stand up. Okay, Cadwin, you're done. We're going to go to Baleful. You're awake. No recovery. You're prone. What do you do?
All right, I'm going to stand up. He's going to say, I definitely owe you a round of drinking back in town. Let's get the hell out of here. He's going to make his way to the door.
Don't forget to pick up your axe.
Yep, pick it up.
That's
One
an
action to the door. I got 1 action left to move.
There's a door right close to you. You'd have to spend an action opening it, though, but I don't know. It's
Yeah,
up
I'll
to
move
you.
there. Yeah, I'll move there.
All right, you're done then.
Yep.
All right, we're going to go to the next round, round 5. You're a warrior, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, it's going to defensive move here, out of your reach. And then it's going to, I don't know what this sounds like or looks like. He is such an alien creature, but he's well out of your reach. I want to try this because it would be so fun. "20-foot burst. Defense, reflex. Duration, none of your business. Plants in the area suddenly begin sprouting from the ground, the swampy ground, seemingly to entangle around the dwarves as it begins to wrap around their ankles, reaching even higher towards their knees and their legs. This area counts as difficult terrain. Each round that a creature starts its turn in this area, you guys can see this area, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. It must attempt a reflex save. So at the start of your turn, you have to make a reflex save. On a failure, you take minus 10-foot circumstance penalty to its speeds, plural, until it leaves the area completely. And on a critical failure, it also becomes immobilized. You have the immobilized condition for 1 round. Creatures can attempt to escape the entangle's DC to remove these effects. And I have the DC right here in front of me. It's quite difficult. All right, so it slows you down, and you got to make a reflex save to keep from being immobilized. Well, that's what gives you the minus 10-foot circumstance penalty. You just got to make a save at the start of your turn. All right, and that is its actions. It's done. It's going to go to Vergrunder. So first up, make your reflex save.
28.
As a failure. It's not crit, so you're going to have a minus 10 to your speeds. That's it.
All right. There's 1 action. I'm out of the zone.
You're out of the zone. You're safe.
Nope, not good enough.
What's going on, Kyle?
I'm right there. But he's actually going to shout down to Baleful and Cadwin. Go! Get out! No! Run! Pineapples! Go!
That it?
I guess if you want to count that as an action.
What'd you do? You moved?
Attacked, and then shouted for them to go.
You can make another action. That's a free action.
Alright, we're going to see if we can lay the hammer.
Short little sentences are a free action.
And that's a hit.
Nice.
My hammer him right in the eye socket. 17 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay, the hammer hits solidly. Not a major blow, but it definitely will do some damage to that one arm and shoulder of his. Very good. We're going to go to Cadwin. So make your reflex save, Cadwin, to see if you're slowed or worse, immobilized. 22 is going to be a failure. It's not crit. Say minus 10 to your movement for the turn.
one round there.
You're good. Now you could technically move again back into the area and it won't affect you. It's when you start your turn in it that you'll have to make that roll. But it does count as difficult terrain. Oh, wait a minute. Wouldn't that slow you down?
No, we won't do that. We'll stay there. We'll do another round of needle darts on him. Nope.
Nope.
Can't roll above a 12 on those attacks.
All right. From this point on, I think this would have affected it would have affected both of you, but it's nothing major. But you make that reflex save, right? If you fail it, minus 10 to your movement. So the dwarves' movement would be 10 per stride.
Correct.
Now, if you're moving inside of this area, it also counts as difficult terrain. So every square counts an additional 5 feet. So technically, like Vugrunder, you would have been able to move 1 square with 1 stride. It would cost you 10 feet to move 1 square in it. And your movement is 10 max. Because it's halved for the fail of the save. But that's okay. But from this point on, if you move back in there, that is difficult ground. Every 5 feet counts an extra 5 feet. So 10 feet per square in the red area. All right?
Gotcha.
We'll let it go this time for both of you. Doesn't really matter. All right, so Cadouin's done with the spell. Go to Baleful. You're next. You're at the door.
You
Nope.
cracking it open, Jess?
He spends an action opening the door. Then go ahead, Kyle. Move his butt in there.
Yeah, I'll just move him in there and he'll kind of motion for Cadouin.
All right, go to the next round. It's going to be the creature. Burgunder, you're noticing something. This creature, you crushed in his left arm, but he seems to shake it off, and you see the wound begin to patch itself. The arm straightens. The damage you did to whatever semblance of a bone structure it had seems to straighten itself out. I accidentally targeted myself. How do I turn that off? There we go. All right. So, he's going to defensively move back into the swampy ground defensively for a step. And then 10, 15, 20. Is he in range there? He's got an extra 5 feet to move, but let me see. I don't want to move. Why is it moving me? $10. So he will do his third action to attack the dwarf who's trying to escape with a lashing tentacle. This will be his first attack, last action. Tentacles coming towards you. So you try and escape. Oh, he rolled a 1 for a score of 23, which won't even come close. So he's done. Gonna go to Vergrunder.
Yeah, seeing the creature make its way from me, we're gonna head for the door. Step through the door, and for my last action, close the door.
I wonder if he's affected by the entanglement spell. Alright, you're done, Vergrunder. Cadwin?
Alright. Well, I've seen everybody make their way out. You will head for the door. Good. Right there. 35. Shut the door behind him.
Okay.
And end up right there.
Alright. Alright, so you both shut the door. You're in the other chamber. And... Okay, let's go to Baleful. You there, Jesse? Can't hear you if you're trying to speak.
Yep, I'm here.
Were you muted?
Yeah, I was talking to myself
Ah, jeez. All right.
that whole time. Yeah. We need to get somewhere where we can rest somehow. At least get some treat wounds. However long that takes.
So I need to know immediately what you're doing right now. We're still in encounter mode. The doors.
Okay. I'll make my way back to that door we came into this room. Or that big doorway. Just making my way up that way.
Spending all 3 actions to get there.
Yep.
Well, that's 1.
See how far I get with another one.
You'll get all on the other side of the barricade.
Alright, that's good.
All right.
All right. So what are you two guys doing as well? The dwarves. You don't have to move or take actions. Just tell me what you're doing, and I'll decide if we're still in encounter mode.
Yeah, backing out with Baleful.
Same thing, Cadwin? I guess so.
Alright.
Are you gonna do the same thing, Cadwin? Just book it out of here and get up to where Baleful is?
Yeah, we need to to an area where I can do some treat injuries and kind of recover.
All right. In that case, you hear loud screams on the other side of the door. Horrible sounds in some strange language you can't recognize. But language it definitely is. We're out of encounter mode as you're breathing heavy in this room, looking to the south where you broke your way through that big pair of stone slabs. Nothing seems to be in pursuit. You seem to have bought yourself some time. What would you like to do?
Alright, now we need to find some place to hold up and heal for a while. Trying to think of a room we could use to seal off the way we could do this.
Yeah, you've broken through all the doors. There's no way to seal them. You'd have to go way back. It's true.
Well, we didn't break this door open.
No, but that's got a broken secret door. Put a hole in that one.
Maybe we can block it somehow.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
like take the bigger shards from this and then pack it into the hole.
I think we can make it work.
Yeah. We worked with less.
Well, If you look at your map, I mean, I don't know how you could camp out in any of these rooms or feel safe, but you guys are adventurers. Any of these rooms, there's a to the north that little hallway, 20 foot by 15 foot. It's got double doors on north and south walls, but it's only a smaller room, but that would be easy to defend if you think of it that way.
Honestly, we ain't gonna go that far. This room right here, you shut the secret door, you shut the wooden door. That's about as safe as you're gonna get in this place.
Where? This one right here? Right here?
Yep, this one right here.
Yeah, that's got a hole in the wall, big enough to travel through. You can't close it. You'd have to barricade it or something if you're concerned about that kind of thing.
Yeah. Just don't look down the hall.
Is that what you want to do?
Yep.
Let's just
We're
head
gonna
in there
barricade
then.
ourselves in.
Okay, you could do that. Is there any particular way you want to barricade that door, just so I know, in case something does come walking or investigating by? It would be kind of important to know how you're barricading it, if at all.
I'd like to take the bigger chunks that we shattered off from breaking through those two barricades and pack them into the hole.
Okay,
Kind of do it that way.
a lot of work.
Yeah, I'll assist.
All right, we'll say a couple hours go by securing yourself, building that up. No problem for you guys because you want time to go by. You've been up for almost 7 hours. Got another 4 or 5 hours to go. So yeah. But it's uneventful. Nothing comes creeping up on you. All this time you've been making a lot of noise too, but there doesn't seem to be anything stirring to the loud sounds you're making, which normally would be highly unusual. Let me update the note on the map. You guys plot what to do next.
How are you doing on spells, Cadwin?
Running mighty low.
Then do we want to wait here for another 3-4 hours and then rest? Sleep?
I can treat wounds best I can to get us through that time, but it might not be a bad idea.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Because if you're running low on spells, then I know Althea's running low on spells.
Okay. We could do that. That's actually a good idea. So, I'll tell you what. How many heal spells do you have left, Cadwin?
1.
Do you want to cast it now?
That was part of the plan. I was going to do treat injuries on Baleful and myself, and then do the 3 action heal on all of us.
All right, do the 3 action heal. Get that done first. And see what that does. Because I'm going to let you guys do as much as you possibly can. Let's see what that gets everybody. $28 points. Okay. Now the healing checks. Baleful.
Yep, I do my healing checks with assurance for the DC 30, so I'll pass that.
So no chance
No
of a
roll.
critical failure on that. In other words, that's
Yeah.
very powerful.
No critical failures, but no critical successes either. But either way, it's still.
So how many often can you do that? Once per hour, like normal?
I can do that once per
Person per
hour, I
hour.
believe.
You're immune for an hour once it's put on you.
Yeah.
So I just want to know how many hours are going to go by. See if we need to do all these rolls, because you're not even making any. It's just you could treat both your friends and yourself within an hour. So that would be 1 hour gone. And then you could do it again. That would be 2 hours gone. And then you could do it again. That would be 3 hours gone. And do it again. That would be 4 hours gone. Then you can get some sleep. So I'm thinking you can get totally healed here. It depends on what do you normally heal? Is it always a 46, 48 or something?
Well, on the treat wounds, is at the DC 30 is 2d8 plus 30.
All right, so I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll knock off like 4 hours, and everybody will be fully healed. And Baleful, you're no longer wounded. And then you could take your sleep with Althea. You're already fully healed, so everybody can be fully healed. No wounded condition. Your drained condition goes down by 1 Baleful, so you're still drained 1.
Okay.
That'll happen after you sleep, which we're going to do right now. So drained 1. Excellent. Oh, it's gone. Where'd your drained go? Should be drained 1.
Yeah, I accidentally double-clicked it.
All right. And I'll mark off the time. It's going to be 8, 10, what are the 14? 14 hours will pass doing all this, but you're fully healed and you can change out your spells. So go ahead and do your spells, Cadwin, now before you forget. Take what you think would be the most useful, and we'll get that out of the way. Let me mark off time. So 14 hours. Oh, hi guys. She's done. All she needs to do is rearrange her spells as she likes when she comes back. So now we're all set for the next session. You guys are happy with that. Are you happy with that? Did you want to do something else?
I'm actually good with that.
All right.
Yeah, that's what we needed.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because we're definitely going to need Althea before we go back into that room with that creature.
So you're fresh. You're awake. Nothing intrudes on you. That'll be episode 118. D6, we'll leave it 3. There. All right, we're all set for the next session. So what are your plans for the next session? What are you thinking of doing?
Well, we gotta continue on. We got that weird creature to fight, and we got all those other rooms to explore. I'm pretty sure those doors to the left, and that big chamber with the giant skull. Pretty sure there's gonna be another creature in there because I heard it. So Got to gear up for combat.
What do you think, Jesse?
I'm just thinking outside the box here. I wonder if those pipes there, if there's some way we could poison the water, maybe it'll affect the creature. I don't know. Just thinking.
Yeah, but don't the water run from west to east? So this would be the bottom. Well, I mean, I guess we could bring poison and dump it up in this one, Jess, and then it would run and flow into the...
Yeah.
So the water is flowing to the north. So it's leaving the chamber where the monster is. It's going to the north. It's going out of the chamber the monster was in.
Both ways it was going out. Like it went to the north and it went to the west.
No, the water is... Well, how do I do this? Let me move you, including Althea, into this room. All right, this is where you peeked. This is where you were looking. The water in here runs north. It's going up.
Okay. How about the river in the big room?
To the south of you. That water is
Yeah.
running west to east.
So it's running into that room.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I have little arrows
So
on the map, but I think they're invisible to you guys. Yeah. West to east.
And if that creature's healing, I bet it's susceptible to fire. Just guessing.
What makes you think that?
Because trolls.
Is it a troll?
I don't know.
The weirdest
Kinda like
troll
it,
I've
but-
ever seen.
I mean, it's in a wet environment and it's healing. So,
Well, this
Similar.
Baleful doesn't know that. Technically, he doesn't know that. He wouldn't guess that. I think the only one who
No.
would have a clue is be Baleful or Vergrunder. So if he mentioned that, which he probably would, that creature, I think it was regenerating. I smashed it clean in the arm and broke it. But I saw it with my own eyes heal. So in that way...
It got all poofy again. Like I tried to deflate it, but it wouldn't go.
There you go. Give yourself a hero point, Kyle.
yeah.
Why don't you guys do that in the middle of battle? But anyway,
We have time to think now.
you do. So you're all healed up. You're ready to go. You're thinking about poking around in the water. This monster in the corner. There's a big skull pedestal to the south. You never even explored anything down there. And of course, there's the doors that lead to the west that Vergrunder was listening to. Something nasty lies beyond that. That's an option too. All I'll say is that you guys are very close. And depending on your next moves, the next session could be the last one.
Uh-oh. We might want to backtrack a little.
So you're all set. So that's why I'm asking you, what are your plans? Because if it's what I think it might be, we're going to catch up with Sheppy and Cypher and any other backup characters you guys have made. That includes you, Ted, if you made a back. You don't have to, but if you have one, you'll be able to play if your Catawin bites the dust. That'll extend it at least another session. Probably. No more than that, I don't think. So, yeah. The end is near. All right, folks, I'm going to end the stream, and we're going to talk a little bit after this a little bit, so I can get a gauge on your actual plans. We're going to call the stream here, folks. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to let these guys give their outros before we go. And yeah, it was a good session. We're closing in. This is going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. I'm curious how they're going to proceed with this, especially once Sheppy comes back, because he's going to have some information. I'm going to make some die rolls to see what he's garnered in terms of information. We'll see. I might even role play that out with Jesse. But we're going to call it there. We're going to let these guys do an outro. Jesse, what do you think about tonight's session? Any expectations for the next one? What do you think?
Well, we definitely got our hands full here. It's a good session. And it'll be interesting to see what happens next. Can't wait.
Any thoughts,
Until next
Kyle?
time, we'll see you.
Any thoughts, Kyle? Thanks, Jess.
Oh, yeah, was intense. Definitely got a lot of options here. But we're coming down to the wire, and it's been a journey. Let me tell you that. Yeah, we definitely had our hands full in more ways than one. That went sideways in a hurry. Just bad dice rolls, and when the dice finally started, it was already too little, too late. So, yeah.
Awesome. How about you, Ted? What'd you think? And what are you
Well,
thinking?
it was definitely the perfect setting for the final countdown here. Definitely an eye opener, finding our limits. We've been pushing it for a while now, and kind of hit that ceiling there. But overall, it was a good deal, good session, and looking forward to getting back to it. Now we're back to our prime and seeing what we can do to wrap this up.
Awesome. So as you guys wake from your slumber, tending to your wounds, wrapping your wounds, preparing, girding your loins, getting ready for what lies ahead, you've got plenty of options. Threats to the east, definitely something to the west. You feel the ground beneath your feet begin to shake. You hear the walls begin to tremor. You feel what sounds like thunder in the distance. You come rushing out of this small little alcove where you've been resting, following Althea, who seems to be full of excitement and chutzpah at this point. What was that? And as you peer to the south, in the darkness of what is a large chamber with an 80-foot ceiling, with murals carved into the walls and the ceiling stone itself, you see a glow begin to emerge from the large skull that lies in the south of that chamber. The eye sockets go from black to a sudden glow of blue, getting brighter and brighter, filling the sockets. You hear shoot from the eye sockets, and the whole room echoes with this sound as the eyes suddenly go black and the ground begins to shake violently. I need everybody to make a acrobatics roll right now for me, including Althea. This is important. Acrobatics. Althea falls to the ground on her back. Valafor, you keep yourself up. Cadwin, you also fall, totally caught unawares. Vergrunder, you're fine. You catch yourself and stable yourself with your hammer pushed against the floor. And suddenly there's a loud explosion coming from the west. Perhaps through the door that you heard. A rumble. Maybe the source of the thunder you heard in the distance, Cadwin. Maybe not. And suddenly there is the sound of rock cracking and breaking. And as your dark vision pierces the blackness ahead, when you can see the skull of Grunder, you see that suddenly, from the top of the skull down to its base of its upper lip, you see what looks like a crack just open up. And the skull almost falls apart, but it's just a big old crack. And then the thunder dissipates. The tremors begin to dissipate. And there's a brief moment of silence. And at that point you hear a loud, hideous scream of a woman. A very, very angry woman. Followed by cackling laughter. It gives you all shivers. It's coming in the south. You all get the sense of impending doom is coming closer to you. As if something is watching you even now. Getting closer. And that's where we're going to end it. So folks, I hope you enjoyed. We'll see you again soon.